this Pokemon just goes completely ham on the stats. Togekiss is just awesome, and when we look at the stat breakdown, it just gets better from there. That 50 on the attack, perfect. That we have a low attack that we're not going to use anyway, so we might as well keep that stat low so we can make all the other stats amazing. That 85, that's pretty much an above average hit points. It means you're going to be fairly hit point bulky, but then 95 defense, 115 special defense. Alright, this Pokemon's a tank, but it also has 120 special attack. So it's a tank that can hit hard, or a hard-hitting sweeper that can tank up moves. 80 on the speed, not bad at all because Togekiss does find some really good ways to work around it. You know, it's already a tanky Pokemon, can set up, and then it can really make use of it. In the 80 speed, it actually means it's going to be faster than most other tanks, or it might even have potential to outspeed some sweepers, and that's what makes Togekiss so beautiful. Looking at its typing, Fairy Flying typing. Very interesting typing. You have a lot of weaknesses, but since Togekiss is so bulky, it kind of doesn't care. It can eat up a super effective hit, and then just kind of do whatever it wants. Has 2 immunities, and good amount of resistances. Fighting and Bug, they do nothing to. So if you have a team that has a little bit of weakness to Fighting Bug, Togekiss can switch in safely all day, and even then, Grass, Dark, Neutral hits, Togekiss can take it up really well. So the Fairy Flying typing, while being pretty crazy, is also going to be pretty good for Togekiss. Now hopping into Pokemon Showdown. Togekiss is busted, guys. There are very few Pokemon that have changed the game like Togekiss because of the Serene Grace ability. That's one of the few Pokemon that gets to competitively use this ability and kind of do whatever the hell it wants. And that's what makes it so great. Now, when I talk about Togekiss, 99.9% of the time when you hear me talk about Togekiss, it's always going to be that Choice Scarf. That Choice Scarf with Serene Grace is one of the most busted things in the game because of Air Slash. Now, for those of you who don't know how this really works out, Serene Grace doubles the secondary effect. So moves like Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, those have a 20% chance to burn and paralyze, or moves like Air Slash have a 60% chance to flinch. That the odds are actually in your favor, that you have a greater than a 50% chance to make your opponent not move while being faster than them because of Choice Scarf, and then you can still do a lot of mean things from there. That you can just use Trick. Oh, this is a setup Pokemon, I'm going to use Trick, and now I can still be a tanky beef tank that's going to be able to do whatever I want. They're out of Thunder Wave, now you slow them. Oh, Thunder Wave and Air Slash. That's another thing. Togekiss invented Paraflinch. Paraflinch is even filthier, that 25% chance that they get paralyzed from the Thunder Wave effect, and then Air Slash for that 60% chance to flinch. Your opponent's not really going anywhere, that this becomes a complete lockdown, and some people, they'll play it up like this. They, you know, with the Choice Scarf, I go modest. Togekiss can neutral 2-hit KO so many Pokemon, it is not even funny. So, pretty much with the Choice Scarf, you're going to outspeed them, you're throwing out the Air Slash, you have a very strong chance that they flinch, and then they die. Then they get KO'd before they have a chance to do anything, and since Togekiss is so tanky, even with full, like, sweeper investment, you know, just special attack and speed, it can still outspeed a lot of Pokemon, and that's a 2-hit KO Pokemon, which means that it's going to, even if it does miss one flinch, most likely can survive a super effective hit. You can see this all day long, and then it's just like, okay, you got me once. Air Slash, that's a KO. Come on, who's next? And then if it doesn't get out-prioritized by like a Bullet Punch or something, Togekiss is going to be completely safe. Now with this 80 on the base speed, you outspeed Pokemon just under 130 base speed. So any Pokemon with 130 base speed or more will outspeed you with this, so you can run Timid if you just want to be outspeeding everything. But even then, with this, it's going to have enough to outspeed Talonflame if it's not using a special attack. So I mean, also just take into consideration Pokemon slower than Talonflame. Greninja. Greninja leads totally get shut down by this, or at least have a very strong chance to, because, you know, Air Slash, Flinch, Air Slash, well, their Greninja just went down for free. That's cool. Noivern, same thing, that any Pokemon that's under that 125 speed, or 126 speed if you're Talonflame, you know, you just kind of 2-hit KO it if it doesn't resist you, and then scary things happen. Also, you can just run Tank Togekiss. That Leftovers and Roost means you're pretty much not going anywhere, a crazy defensive investment, and then you just do the Paraflinch, that Thunder Wave, Air Slash. We already talked about that gives your opponent so little chance of attacking, it's not even funny. It's like 80% chance that they have no chance of attacking for that turn, and then you just kind of do whatever. Aura Sphere, or any kind of other coverage move. You have Dazzling Gleam, you have Hidden Power. You can kind of do whatever with this. I just like Aura Sphere. They're using Minimize. If they're doing something like that, you don't check accuracy. And also, Air Fighting does give you a good amount of coverage that I think only 17 Pokemon in the game fully resist you. So you can really get a lot of neutral hits. You can just take less damage than you're dealing, and it works out from there. So with this, you're just pretty much going to always want that Air Slash lockdown. And Aura Sphere does work against fighting type Pokemon and steel type Pokemon, which do resist you on the Air Slash, and that's pretty solid. Now, when you break it down, it's pretty much what are you worried about? Since Togekiss is a flying type Pokemon, you might see more special attacks from those Ice Beams and Thunderbolts. At the same time, you could see some physical attacks like Iron Head and Rock Slide. So, I mean, you can make it to where you can have just even distribution, that you're going to be taking offensive and specially offensive hits about the same, or you can just make it to, you know, invest a little on the defense, invest some in special defense. I like it on the 100 EVs because that's 2 hordes, then you max out your hit points, then you just put the rest in your defense, and now this actually goes through pretty well, or you can just kind of do it by like a whole number like that, somewhere around that, and now you're going to be looking at some really ridiculous tankiness. That Leftovers giving you health every turn with that Roost means that if they're not 2-hit KOing you, you just out-sustain them, wait for a Thunder Wave paralysis, and then you just air slash them down from it. Because Thunder Wave is going to make them so slow, and then, yeah, it's just Paraflinch. It's nasty. Now, it is also really interesting because I think Choice Scarf Togekiss is better in every way except against another Togekiss. That tank Togekiss, you know, it's going to eventually, like, get a hit through those air slashes because it's such a tanky Pokemon that, you know, it's a 3-4 hit KO against Scarf Kiss, which means all it has to do is land a Thunder Wave, and now it can air slash Paraflinch lock the Choice Scarf Togekiss and then completely shut it down. But that's pretty much the only case where Togekiss will outright do better, unless it's also against like a rock or a steel type Pokemon. So this Togekiss can also break down in different ways, but you know, it's just more of a kind of just stall-y, get down, start, you know, just paralyzing their sweepers, really lowering a lot of their power, then just outright, I'm going to sweep you. They each have their strengths. I still just feel that Choice Scarf catches more people off guard. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna outspeed. Huh, I just got 2-hit KO. Like, Dragonites. Dragonites can't really do too much against, nothing can really touch this Togekiss pretty hard, and that's why I like it so much. So then when we just kind of go through the rest of these, you know, double battles. Togekiss has a lot of strength in double battles because you can use Follow Me. Follow Me means that you're going to be able to set up as a tanky Pokemon. So again, with a set like this, do you want to endure more physical attacks? Do you want to be mixed? Do you want to be special defensive? You can run it like that, and then at the same time, you know, just using Follow Me and Roost. Follow Me. Hey, over here, guys, hit me instead. You know, through all your status, I don't care. You can have Citrus Berry or a Lum Berry. That way you can heal off the status, and then your sweeper gets to do whatever they want. And now you still also have a lot of potential, you know, set up Air Slash, go for the Roost, get the heal back in you, and now your opponent's going to have a really hard time. Carrying Protect is also going to make it a mind game, and that's really all there is to it. Now, I did say that this is going to be a Togetic guide as well a bit, and you can pretty much run either or. That, you know, this Togetic can run with the Follow Me, Roost, Air Slash, and Protect, or Togekiss can run Thunder Wave and or Tailwind with Encore, and Togetic is going to be pretty much just a tankier Togekiss, that if you're not looking to do damage or looking to be a pure support, Togetic can actually do a little more work for you because of Eviolite. Eviolite is going to mean that these defenses go into ridiculous amounts, that, you know, 292, you can just kind of also play around that. I feel like with this, it's really good to be a mixed tank. So at this rate, you know, you're going to be pushing to 400 on the defenses while having over 300 hit points, and that's why, you know, Follow Me when you see that. If you see an opportunity where, you know, Follow Me might not be the best, throw up the Tailwind. Now you're making yourself faster, now you're making your allies faster, and then you can also have Thunder Wave, Encore, anything like this. You're pretty much going to need Tailwind and Thunder Wave because Togetic doesn't get Air Slash, but with Togekiss, you can run, you know, instead of Protect, you can have Thunder Wave, and now you can just, like, find your opponent's sweeper, use Thunder Wave, Air Slash, and now you can make them pretty much permaflinch while your sweeper only has to deal in a one-on-one situation where it might excel in. Other than that, Togekiss can also kind of be a tanky Pokemon that does some ridiculous things with Nasty Plot. Give it a Lum Berry, just make it Roost. You set up a Nasty Plot, now you special attack doubles, and then you can just kind of carry out some ridiculousness from there. We already talked about how good Aura Sphere and Air Slash works, but you can also just, you know, go for the Paraflinch. That once you get one Nasty Plot, now you just Thunder Wave loop your opponent into oblivion. That they are a rock type or a steel type Pokemon, just Nasty Plot a couple more times to get over the resistance of them, and then you just work it out from there. Now, Citrus Berry, again, Burst Health is really good if you use Nasty Plot. They do like 60% of your health, and then you get 25% of your health back, so now they don't 2-hit KO you. That means you can Roost it, that means you can set up that Thunder Wave into Air Slash, and then you can just kind of stall it out from there with the Citrus Berry. But with the Lum Berry, if they try to status you, you know, they try to paralyze you, you paralyze them back, you're cleared of their paralysis, and now you might be able to, you know, lock them down. They might not be able to get another status on you, and now you're at a +2 on the Nasty Plot, and you're just kind of ridiculous. So again, EV spread is whatever you think you're going to need the most. can run more defensive, more special defensive. Now, Togetic can also Nasty Plot as well, but it also has access to Baton Pass. So pretty much the idea is you want to be really tanky, just Nasty Plot, set up Baton Pass, and then do whatever from there. That now you're just giving off double to triple to quadruple special attack to a Pokemon, and it's going to work out pretty well because Togetic is so tanky. I like having Toxic, that way if Togetic is your last Pokemon, you might be able to sneak out a Toxic stall, just throw it out, have Roost, or if Togetic's just kind of there, throw out the Toxic, then use Baton Pass, and you can be pretty solid. Now, Roost is an option just to give you that durability, that way, you throw out the Toxic, you can kind of Roost through a couple turns and switch out to another Pokemon while they're really going through the Toxic burn, or you can have Heal Bell. Heal Bell is also going to be a very nice move because you can kind of Cleric for your team. Oh, use Togetic in the mid-game. They're not going to expect a Baton Pass Pokemon. Now, you come in, use Heal Bell, Nasty Plot, Baton Pass. So now any Pokemon that was paralyzed, it's going to be fine, and then you can Baton Pass into it. Now it's going to have a high amount of special attack, and then it can probably resume sweeping if it was shut down earlier by status. So those are your options. If you want Togetic to be a little more offensive, go with the Roost. If you want to be a pure support Pokemon that might only need to be on the field once or twice, go for the Heal Bell. And that's kind of all there is to it. I know it's a mouthful, but Togekiss is such a strong and amazing Pokemon that it's really changed the game with how much it's been used and what it's capable of. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a nice day. That is how you use Togekiss. That's an OP Pokemon right there. Welcome back, Wolfpack Verlis here, and this is how to use Poliwrath. Poliwrath has some good stat distribution overall. Also, I don't know why it's blurry. I tried to re-render it a couple times, and hopefully it doesn't happen. Because it just feels like the video is a bit smudgy right now, and I really don't know what's going on. But back to the stats. It has good stat distribution. I mean, 90 hit points, 95, 90 on the defenses, 95 attack. Its attack actually got buffed in the 6th generation. It used to have 85 base, now it's at 95 base, which is nice. For a bulky physical attacker, you don't really need to worry about the speed, and as a physical attacker, the special attack isn't something that you really care too much for, so its stat distribution is actually on point, which is really nice. It also has the water fighting typing. It's a crazy typing. So many weaknesses, so many resistances. Overall, it's really weird for a bulky Pokemon to have this because you have the opportunity to have a good setup. You have the potential to resist a lot and have some time to get the momentum going. At the same time, there's also just a lot of things that can hit you super effective and make your setup really difficult. On top of that, I'm also trying to remember to put in the physical typing as well, that offensively, fighting hits dark, ice, normal, rock really well, and water hits fire, ground, and rock. So you have a good super effective coverage. At the same time, you also have a high resistance coverage that you are resisted by bug, fairy, flying, poison, dragon, grass, and water, and Ghost. So it's kind of crazy to just see the distribution overall for Poliwrath, both offensively and defensively. So let's hop into